Hi, welcome to Truth to Tal and Isaac. I'm Tal.
I'm Isaac.
Episode number 51 coming at you. 51 big episodes. Best 51 of all time. Dick Butkus.
Have you seen his Twitter? Yes.
No.
Dick Butkus on Twitter, everyone.
Really?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's so awesome.
Awesome.
It's like he just like makes fun of people and doesn't know how it works. Like it's
Perfect.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Is it him doing it, do you think, or is it like your grandson?
No, it's him doing it.
Awesome. Okay, do you got a 51 or is it Dick Butkus?
Oh, Dick Butkus.
For sure. Okay. Review of championship weekend. Talk about the GOAT's retirement. Tom Brady, for those that don't know, you heard it here first.
Yeah, we like Brady.
We like Brady. And just chat a little bit about the Canadian men's soccer team. Like, big deal for Team Canada. I had a really good topic, top 5 sandwiches, but we'll have to defer that to a future episode.
Wow.
Top 5 sandwiches.
All right.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
Reuben's got to be a high seed.
That's a good list. Nice.
Yeah. So there's a ton of stuff. It's funny. This is a goofy week in sports because, generally the 2 weeks between the Super Bowl is too long. I liked it a few years ago. Maybe there was a labor dispute or COVID or something where they only had...
Probably not COVID a few years ago.
I don't remember, but it was only 1 week in betwn championship weekend and the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's weird.
I liked it because there's just too much stuff.
Well, I'll tell you why I like the 2 weeks. Higby has time to recover. Like, I like getting 2 weeks for guys to kind of rest up.
Yeah.
I thought about not doing an episode this week, but there's enough to talk about.
Oh my God, there's so much stuff going on.
I got to educate you on some stuff.
Maybe.
So.
Okay, so tons of off the top. Jim Harbaugh, state of Michigan. You're the one who gave me a text today, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I broke it.
Wait till we get my rumor. My rumor is very relevant to Jim Harbaugh, state of Michigan. Brian Flores suing the NFL. So I don't really know that much about him, but you really like Brian Flores and said he got ripped off and he got fired in Miami. So
I get this one?
lawsuit is... Yeah, why don't you know more about it than I do.
Okay. So I like Brian Flores because...
Sorry, Brian Flores, he's a brother.
Okay.
No crackers like us.
I like Brian Flores. I like Brian Flores because I like the Heat a lot. I like Jimmy and the Heat, so I consume some Miami media. So their local sports guys love Flores. So he got fired. They all thought it was kind of weird and didn't really understand it. So the situation is he got fired from the Dolphins, but like shocked everybody, including like the Miami people were upset by it. But even the national media guys like us were saying that's kind of weird. So Flores is suing the NFL, the Dolphins, the Giants, the Broncos. Just to put that feels like a list the Lions could totally be on. So I'm glad that the Lions aren't because these are kind of all teams in awkward spots, rebuilding kind of, and it just feels like a list that the Lions should be on. So I'm glad that they're not. Like it's just sick.
That's a win.
That's a win for Detroit.
Yep,
that's
a win.
Basically our Super Bowl.
Yep. No, the draft is our Super Bowl.
Yeah. So
every year.
I read a good chunk of the lawsuit. Like I just find this very interesting because I think it's relevant to football, but it's also real life stuff. It's like 60 pages, the lawsuit. I didn't read that much. I kind of Cliff Notes a little bit, which got me through high school. Shout out Cliff Notes.
Yeah, shout out Cliff Notes. I probably read about 4 lines of the lawsuit.
So I'm going to go through
summary.
it, the objective fact, and then we'll talk about the subjective truth because that's a thing.
Yep. I've got the skinny.
Stephen Ross, Dolphins owner. Fans hate him. Miami fans hate him.
I'm assuming he's a racist cracker.
He's a cracker. He might be racist, yeah.
Okay.
He reportedly offered $100,000 per loss for tanking purposes to Flores. So every game you lose, Flo, $100K. Then,
in addition to salary, this is a nice little bonus.
Yeah, it's a bonus.
Is this the 3-13 when they pick 2 a year, or?
Well, I think they were like 5-11. It was then. Then there was some tampering to get a QB, and the name of the QB wasn't out. People think it was actually Brady in between New England and Tampa. Stephen Ross did some tampering, and then some people were saying Ross wanted Flores to do some more tampering, and he's like, I'm not doing that. The lawsuit has some good stuff and some bad stuff. Kind of bashes the Rooney Rule, which makes sense. That's the rule saying
you got to hire minority. You have to interview and consider minority candidates.
Interview, so it's pretty easy for some racist owners to just say like, all
set
right,
up a bullshit.
Hit some check marks.
You can't say that, but a Zoom call. They chat for 10 minutes. Hey, you like fried chicken? Do you want to be our coach? No, okay. Well, thanks. See you.
Okay, that was Tal, not me.
No, that was Isaac who said
no.
that. The fried chicken comment was a little bit offside.
So Brian Flores and his agent, I don't think they would do this if they didn't believe they would actually win some money and make a case. You know what I mean? Like,
So two things. I agree with you. I think they likely have a good chance to win, but the problem is, who's going to hire Flores now?
okay, I think he's still going to coach in the NFL.
I hope so.
He's like 40, I think, right? Like, he's not old.
He's a younger dude.
He's
I don't know how
39
old
or
he is.
40.
Oh wow.
So he's very young.
Where was he like an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator before? Do you know? Like what?
I do not know. Young, like he hasn't had a ton of gigs before in Miami, and he was in Miami for 3 years. So like he was 37, I think, when he got hired, maybe 36.
Okay.
So he's got a case. He has to have a case. He's gonna win some money, like you said. Hopefully he coaches again because he deserves to be a coach, right? Like I don't care about all the other stuff. He should be a football coach, regardless of what you think, right?
Yep. Did you see me pointing out Urban Paul's 40 Love gear?
Yeah, good time.
Shout out to Urban Paul, Hustle on Owl. Thanks to 40 Love sweatshirt. Sweet. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. 2 hours after this Flores stuff came out, the NFL released a statement saying the case is without merit. So
that's pretty
if
quick.
the NFL just said, like, we're going to investigate, blah, 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 that's fine. 2 hours later, NFL
They can't even
Twitter-
read 60 pages in 2
NFL
hours.
Twitter put out it's without merit, which is just so dumb. Didn't take long for fans to be like, that's stupid. It's weird that teams might care, like owners care about race over winning. Like initially I thought owners just want to win. But
You would think so. And honestly, we try and put ourselves in the place of these guys, but we can't, right? They're billionaires. They poop $1,000 bills. Like, it's just crazy. I can't imagine they want to do something other than win. Like, everybody makes fun of the Ford family and they're terrible, terrible, terrible. They want to win. They've just been bad at building the organization to let them win.
do you know what Bill Belichick did in the Flores case?
No.
So this is interesting. The Giants hired Brian Dable, who was the Bills' offensive coordinator, as their head coach.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick, try to stick with me. Bill Belichick texted Brian Flores congratulating him on getting the Giants job, thinking it was the
A
other
done deal?
Brian. The other Brian Dable.
Oh, got it.
And Flores answered and was like,
What are you
A,
talking about?
this is Brian Flores, not Brian Dable. B,
Oh, did he make a mistake and text the wrong dude?
and Flores is like, I haven't even had my interview yet. How do you know? So then everyone's saying
Oh.
Bill Belichick is for the boys helping out Flores. So the Giants had already made up their mind before hiring Flores. Like there's messages on these receipts,
got it.
dates.
Yep, got it. Makes
So
sense.
everyone's like, Bill Belichick, sick move for Bill. Like that's just awesome. He knew. He didn't screw
Oh,
up. He knew.
got it.
I think.
That's the West Wing when the president did the hot mic comment and knew it was still a hot mic.
Sure.
That's got to be it.
So Bill Belichick, sick move. It's awesome that Belichick did that. and
I
helped
hope
out
that's
Flores.
a real thing.
And Belichick said, like,
is that a
oh,
rumor?
well, Belichick says, oh, I'm sorry, wrong, Brian, blah, blah, blah. And Flores is here just like, I have an interview in 3 days. I thought I had a legit shot at this job. And Belichick's telling me that they already made up their mind getting some white guy. So from Flores' point of view, it's probably racism, right? I hope he wins the case. I hope he wins some money. I hope he coaches.
I hope he wins some money and I hope he coaches.
That would be a win-win for kind of everybody except the racist owners. Probably take the L on that
And you know
one.
what? They don't have a lot of fans. They don't have a lot of friends, so it's okay.
There's some stuff I won't go into. There's some stuff in the lawsuit that I don't love. That's like comparing the NFL to a plantation and saying like owners and their black slaves are the athletes. And I didn't love that. That was a little too much for me, mainly because the fellas on the field that are playing now are making some money and it's like they signed the contract. It's a little different. I don't think you can compare it.
I'm going to read this on the weekend.
It's really interesting. It's some football, some real life stuff. So do you have any thoughts on the Flores thing? I wanted to talk about that.
I wrote down the 2 points. I assume that a lot of these owners are racist, right? Like, again, we're Canadian, and obviously it's a different way of thinking, but so many Americans it's such a divisive country, unfortunately. I think a lot of them are probably racist, and you're right. They would rather
That's what doesn't make sense.
they'd rather lose with a black coach than win with a black coach,
No, they'd rather lose with a white guy than win with a black guy.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, you said
Which
it right.
that doesn't make, that just doesn't, I can't process that.
And I really hope that he gets a job. I hope so.
University of Michigan head coach? If Harbaugh leaves in a couple years?
Oh, see, my rumor was that Brady's going to be the next head coach
So
of University of Michigan.
mine was Charles Woodson.
Oh, Chuck Woodson would be good.
Maybe they
too.
can do it together. But
Oh, you know what? Brady can do offense.
Woodson defense?
Chuck can do defense. Go head coaches.
So yeah,
That's a good rumor.
it's Brian Flores thing. It's
That's a good. You've done a lot more research than me. Good job on the show prep. Good job. Okay. MLB, figure your crap out. Come on. So the Cade double team percentage deal.
Go for this.
So my man Jason at work texted me some stat. Well, he told me about it, and he did the research, and he texted me. And basically, Cade is one of the top 10 people in the NBA about getting double teamed as a percentage. Now, the amount of points that get scored off the double team is lower in those kind of top 20 dudes, mostly because the Pistons don't really have anybody that can shoot. But it shows when they surround Cade with shooters in the future. Grant comes back, they draft somebody who can shoot. You know, Hami learns how to shoot. Bay has a whole season of good stuff. There's going to get a lot of juice out of Cade. It was a very interesting stat.
Oh, so Cade, number one in Rookie of the Year race.
Yeah, what does that mean?
It means that I think if the season ended today, he would be Rookie of the Year.
Is there metrics associated with that, or is that just a judgment by some dudes?
I think probably just a judgment by some dudes.
Because we actually called it quite a while ago.
We've actually been on the Cade. We should be the some dudes making the decision.
Yeah, we probably should.
And I like Mobley a lot. I don't really like Barnes. I've watched some Raptors. He does not impress me.
Barnes...
Offensively, he doesn't impress me.
Barnes started off well. Hey, shout out Drew Dilkins. It's Mayor Dilkins. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mayor Dilkins.
Doug Shankman McLaughlin. Happy birthday. A couple of my boys, their birthdays are today.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Okay. K Double Team, we talked about Super Bowl prop bets. Start making them, and we're actually going to give you some betting lines next week. We've been dabbling into this a little bit.
We're going to make some money soon.
A lot of our fans are asking for some prop bets, and obviously we have a lot of information and inside scoop.
So many sources. You guys have no idea.
Yeah. So next week, get ready. We got some prop bets coming at you.
Should we throw them our single game parlay that we're going to do? Because the thing is, depending on the amount of money that you throw down, if you bet 10 of these, you only need to really win one to make some money. And we're pretty good at, we're smart. We're so advanced in this. So
So when you talk about what we're going to bet, parlay, we haven't talked about that. I don't know what we're going to bet.
Well, we got to see where the numbers go.
Yeah, we have to do our prep.
Von Miller sack, Donald sack. Give me that. Like, that's happening. We'll talk about Super Bowl stuff later, but Bengals O-line versus the Rams D-line, not a good mix.
Yep.
Sorry, Cincinnati. Not a good mix.
Okay. We do need to talk about the Australian Open for a minute. Isaac and I watched a little bit of it. The men's final was awesome.
Okay.
It was good.
It was cool. Yeah, it was cool.
Okay. Don't say who, when. Oh, no, that's a dumb thing. And the Russian guy, man, he was hated. He was like Dolph Lundgren. He was hated. Joe Engels, who was essentially me, out for the year.
Yeah, sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
Pops.
it's okay. So the Utah Jazz, are now they in the running for Jeremy Grant? They weren't, but now are they going to be?
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I did.
That makes a lot of sense. It makes a ton of sense.
Yep.
But I don't know if Weaver has the guts to trade Grant.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm still on that. I don't think he does.
Again, we told you there's lots of off the top stuff happening this week. We're at minute 14 and we haven't even gotten into show topics.
Flores deserves a lot of time.
Baseball steroids. There's a really good article on ESPN.com by Doug Glanville. Read that. So read the story that Isaac told you to do.
Or read my cool thing.
Read both of them. Yeah, they're very interesting stories about stuff that's relevant in
One's
today's
about
society.
real life stuff. One's about some morons who did some drugs and hit some dingers.
No, but Doug Glanville's he's a good dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so real quickly, recap of championship weekend. Chiefs Bengals, good game. I predicted 31-28 KC. What did you predict? Do you remember?
I don't.
Doesn't matter. We were wrong. Bengals won 27-24. So good game. Joe Burr, cool as cucumber, made the plays when he had to. Since he made some great adjustments, and KC did not adjust well. since he started to drop 8, they needed to do more underneath stuff. They needed to run the ball more, and they did not. Right? Casey got a little arrogant at the end of the first half.
Yeah.
They should have put 3 points on the board, and they really had nothing the last 35 minutes of that game.
When it was like 21-3, it was like, crap, like this
Yeah,
will suck. Yeah. It was the end of the first half.
We were ready to trade in New Dale.
The Chiefs got cute at the goal line. Should have just put 3 points on the board, or Mahomes has got to just throw that in the dirt. That kind of changed the game. Bengals defense played awesome in the second half.
Yep, give them lots of credit.
The Chiefs are going to be fine. They're going to come back next year. They're not going to be a Super Bowl favorite. I think at this point the Rams have to be the favorite for next year. I think
it's going to be interesting.
Maybe the Bills. Maybe
what happens? Bills, I think, are going to be tough.
So the Chiefs are going to be fine.
You know, the whole Rodgers dynamic is relevant also.
Burrow's awesome. He made plays that I didn't think he was physically able to that game. He made some plays.
Right,
there's some times where Josh Allen or Mahomes makes a play, and it's like, okay, those are like the only 2 dudes on earth. Burrow made
maybe Lamar Jackson.
Running, yes. Throwing, not really.
Yeah.
Burrow made a couple plays where it's like Josh Allen did that last weekend.
We were just shocked, just not knowing he could make those plays.
And
getting wrapped up and ducking and jiving and then running for a first down.
And he's so likable. Like,
he's really likable.
Like the young QBs, I know people say the young QBs in the NFL, mainly the AFC, are so easy to root for, and I look forward for like
we get a decade of good QBs
easily,
and they're not asses, so they're fun to cheer for.
And I'm gonna say this: I know Burrow's getting a lot of love. Justin Herbert is better right now because that's the comp. Justin Herbert's better right now. And
Josh Allen
is the second best quarterback on the planet. Then Mahomes is 1.
So Mahomes, Allen, Herbert, Burrows. Is that how you'd rank them?
Like I hate Rodgers. Rodgers is up there.
If you're starting a franchise,
that's
top 3.
I actually think
start
we should
franchise
do that.
top 3.
I think we should do that another time. QBs, you're looking at Mahomes, Allen.
So future topics: top 5 sandwiches, and you're starting a NFL franchise.
I thought about maybe doing a like we each are drafting a team, and you got to draft skill position guys, and we just run through it, and we just see how much better my team is.
Probably not, because you know what? I would have a sweet offensive.
You would just cheat off me. I would have to put those things up.
No, come on. Ask Team Tal Nation. Who cheats off whom? Young Buck cheats off the old wise man. Okay. 49ers Rams. Again, another pretty good game. I had the Rams winning 27-20. It was 2017. Listen, Stafford played pretty well. 49ers are tough. They are a tough team.
That is the best word to describe it. Yeah.
They run the ball. Like Deebo Samuel, man, he is a beast.
Why didn't he touch the ball in like the fourth quarter? I don't get that.
I don't know. He was dinged up a little bit. They gave him a couple of touches, but really not enough. But here's the problem. Jimmy G had to make a couple plays, and he cannot. And we've been calling this for a long time.
Easily, but
not a Jimmy G fan. I guess the guys in the locker room love him. This is what you said.
Foxhole guy.
But he's not in San Fran.
Okay, what teams are you getting traded to? I'll throw out a few. We'll play this game.
Pittsburgh.
Denver Broncos, option. Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pittsburgh, Denver.
Tampa.
Washington doesn't have the money, do they?
They can make it work.
New Orleans.
Washington Commanders.
Yeah.
Shout out I don't hate it.
No, it should have been the Washington Hogs. That would have been awesome.
Well, there's
although then fat people would have been offended.
Well, Commanders is just like commies. Like that's going to be a thing, I think. But
so it's going to be Mao Zedong and all that kind of stuff.
I don't hate Commanders.
That's what I call the Washington Tiananmen Square massacres.
I also don't hate the football team.
I like the WFT,
but people don't. People make because it's so easy to say. Wow, you're playing a football team that doesn't have a name. Like that's just an easy joke to make. Like if the insert team loses to the Washington football team, hey, you guys lost to a team that doesn't have a name. That's that's tough.
Bengals and Rams next week. We'll discuss our Super Bowl predictions and give out some prop bets. It'll be fun. Okay, I'm just gonna briefly touch on Team Canada.
Can we talk about Stafford? I can't go a week without talking about Staff.
Pat Stafford?
Stat Padford. That's
Stat
so
Padford.
dumb.
Yeah, that's just...
Matt's the man.
Or when he used to be kind of fat and they called him Fat Stafford.
He looked shaky a few times during that game.
A little bit, but he had a pretty good game.
He did, but there's a few times where it's like, crap, I don't want, like,
No.
drop that interception.
And
dude.
I don't care if we've dropped from the 24th pick to the 30th
Oh,
pick.
if you're a Lions fan, you're not cheering for Stafford against the Niners. Next week I'll make my case of why a Lions fan can cheer for Cincinnati over the Rams. That has nothing to do with draft pick. It has to do with team trajectory. Do you know what I mean? Like, when I look at the Bengals, I see the Lions in terms of their fan base and their rebuild. But
they're 2 years away from the Lions.
Yes.
2 years ago, they were the Lions.
And yeah, they got their QB. That's what we
Just
need.
one interesting stat. Both starting QBs, former number 1 overall picks.
Yeah. Is that the first time ever in the Super Bowl? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay, well, you're the stat guy, so.
Producers just checking on it. No, and we will talk about that more next week.
Cool. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. Do you have anything else on the games? Yes, Garoppolo's out. Good for Stafford. Cooper Kupp's awesome. There's not a ton of takeaways, I don't think, from that game.
Yep.
Other than we're very happy to see Stafford move on. I was really, at the end, that was just awesome.
For sure. Okay,
sure.
Soccer. A couple of shout-outs. Coach Vince Castagna.
Shout out, Coach.
And Alessio the Flash is what we call him because he's very fast.
Okay. My buddy at last?
Yeah,
Oh.
your buddy. New Dale.
Yes.
Yeah. If you don't know what that means, then you're not part of the inner circle, but check on our Instagram page and Isaac will post something about it.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So, probably the best team in Canada's inglorious soccer history. They haven't made the World Cup for 36 years. These guys are good. Like, what's their goalie? Milan Borjan or something
I don't
like
know,
that?
but you did research, so I'm really interested to hear you talk about
Yeah,
this.
so he honestly looked like he just got done work as an accountant, as a junior accountant at KPMG.
What job was he? I don't think he was an accountant.
No, he was an accountant, a junior accountant though. He doesn't have a CPA yet.
Okay, all right, I'll go with
Yeah,
that.
so he's working on it. He went to St. Clair for a bit, then he went to the University of Windsor. He took a couple years off to find himself.
Yeah.
He was a barista for a little while.
Bartender.
Yeah, and then he worked in a car detailing place, and he tried to get a part ownership stake, but that didn't work out.
Go
He's
on
always
with your
playing
soccer
rugby.
stuff.
Anyway,
'Cause
so
I didn't write stuff about soccer.
so he's good, and so basically Canada plays a very conservative, and they're a counterpunch team. They are not going to put lots of pressure on you. They're going to play deep. They're going to play way back, and they're going to wait for the other team to make a mistake. And it's worked well. It worked against Honduras. It worked well against the Americans. Their best player, Alfonso Davies, which is one of the fastest players in the world, he's injured.
Yes.
So what time is it? It's 8:56 Wednesday evening in 4 minutes. The next game starts. We're going to tune in and watch some of it.
I actually didn't know this. What?
Yeah, they're playing El Salvador in El Salvador. So 3 games in about 9 days, 3 different countries, 3 different huge weather patterns. This doesn't guarantee them a shot or a spot in the World Cup, but very likely. There's
So if they
crazy things.
If they win tonight, they're likely in?
Yes, even if they lose, they're probably still likely. And there's crazy things that would need to happen for them to.
Is that game at 9?
Yeah, 9 p.m. So it starts really soon. So we're gonna watch it. So it was fun. It was fun to watch. Again, they did not have the ball. Like if time of possession was relevant, they would have lost.
I didn't watch a ton of the game,
Well,
but
we had some of it on.
But when I looked, Canada didn't have the ball.
Not so much.
No.
And it was good. So shout out to Coach Vince for making sure we talk
Respect.
about Isaac's old soccer coach.
Yeah.
That's when Isaac played half the game goalie and then half the game at midfielder. He was actually pretty decent. He was a good goalie.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Out of my prime now.
Yeah, and then every now and then I'd help coach because they want me to coach, and then you would just get mad at me because I would make the team do strength and conditioning stuff like push-ups and
Well, I was
stuff.
probably like 8, so there's that. Maybe 9.
You were 9 or 10. Yeah.
No, actually, when did I switch to baseball? 12?
13 maybe.
Okay. All right. Shout out Coach Rob to baseball and Downs.
Yep. Okay.
Brady.
Tom Brady, the GOAT. So he's retired. It's a big deal. And here's why he didn't announce on the weekend. It's because he's not an ass like Alex Rodriguez and guys like that who make big announcements and big things when there's other things happening. He did it 3 days after.
Okay, well, can we talk about first of all, we'll just talk about the announcement.
Sure.
Even though, because that shouldn't be a story, but it is.
Yeah.
People are saying that he leaked it intentionally early. You're just dumb if you
I
think
don't
that.
think so.
And I'll give you some reasons why. Reason number 1, it's not Brady-like at all. That's just not something he's ever done in the past. It's not something he's ever hinted at doing. Rodgers, right? He has done that before. We know that. But Brady, that's not something he would do. Another thing, You know where he was when it got leaked? He was on vacation with his family.
Yeah,
So I don't think, and maybe Gronk was tagging along.
probably.
He got just like bombarded with calls, which resulted in the backlash saying like this isn't true. So there's another reason. 3, what does he have to gain from it leaking?
Nothing.
He has more to gain from waiting and doing a big thing when no one's talking about football.
I bet he probably wanted to do it a week after the Super Bowl.
Well, that's what I want to say. He wouldn't leak it before measly conference championship games because those are nothing to Brady. He would do
not
it.
that big a deal.
It's something about the Super Bowl. He would either do it like in between conference championship and Super Bowl when like guys like us don't know what to talk about, or he would do it after, like a week after the Soupy. So he didn't leak it. Just putting that's dumb.
I agree with you. So just a couple things I want to talk about with Brady. It is debatable that he has had 3 separate Hall of Fame careers.
Do you have the numbers?
No, I didn't run the
We
numbers.
don't have to play that game, but you're like it's true.
Look it up. There's been a few articles on it, and it's amazing. Either way, he's had 2 for sure.
3. It's 3.
Yeah. So
One of them
just a
is
couple
Rodgers.
of points I wanted to bring up. The 2 biggest Brady moments in my career, although you can debate that there's a third. You know, a couple of things that happened to make this pretty momentous. And then my question for you, I'm going to pose the question and then we'll finish off with this. If Brady does not play in New England, what happens to Belichick and what happens to Brady?
That's okay.
We'll circle back to that in a minute. So just a couple of top moments in the career. The 28-3 comeback against Atlanta. So awesome. Like in Boston, we went to Boston just pre-COVID. And they just have 28-3 written all over the place.
Signs, shirts, everywhere.
Yeah,
it's
just awesome. And nothing else, 28-3.
Just this, just the scoreboard capture. But the time, like third quarter, 9 minutes or whatever.
So that's amazing. You know, the Tuck game, that helped actually elevate Brady a lot. I don't know if it's one of the top moments of his career, but it certainly created a lot of discussion and controversy. And again, Brady's had such a long career that social media and a lot of this like crazy news and sports environment wasn't as relevant. But the Tuck rule is one of those things that everybody talked about for a bunch of days. I do have to give a shout out when Brady turned 43. Yeah, I'm a little hyped up. Tom Brady was a freaking GOAT, man. I saw him play in college. That's how long ago. I saw him play in college when I had a full head of hair. That's how long ago that was. Look, right? That's how long ago I saw Tom Brady play. But at the age of 43, he left New England because they didn't really want him, went to Tampa, and freaking won the whole deal. Like, that's amazing. It's so unheard of.
That's what people that don't love Brady or don't think he is as great as we do, that move, winning the Soupy without Bill, it's like, okay.
Yep. Listen, the going to bed at 8:30 at night, the alfalfa smoothies, the 2 prunes,
Avocado
for
ice cream, all that stuff.
All that stuff. Man, you can't argue with the results. It's amazing. The absolute dedication to his craft. Mo Lewis wiping out Drew Bledsoe. That elevated Brady from the... I did some good research, eh?
Well, I could have told you that one.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I had to look it up. So what happened? I got home from work tonight, and after I shoveled, I had a bit of time to do some research because he was working. Mm-hmm. So actually, I have some of these good names, like Alonzo Davies and... what was the guy?
Who? Alonzo Davies?
No, Alfonso. Yeah. No, Alonzo Ribera is the different guy. Anyway, Mo Lewis knocked out Drew Bledsoe, elevated Brady to be the starter. A couple of enemies we need to mention. And I'll stop talking.
Eli.
The Eli freaking helmet catch is terrible.
Awful. Eli Manning is the Brady
Who caught
villain.
it? David Tyree.
David Tyree caught the helmet. And then there was another stupid catch in the other Eli Super Bowl win.
Yeah. So Roger Goodell and Deflategate, like all the crap that happens in the NFL and you decide to pick on Brady and letting a couple pounds of air out of the footballs. Relax, pal. Is that the hill you wanted to die on?
How about Roger Goodell not be racist? He's probably racist because he's allowing racist stuff to happen under his league, right?
Yeah, honestly, I think he's a patsy to whatever the owners want. So.
Well, you heard what John Gruden said about him, right? I won't repeat it, but it's pretty funny.
No, do I gotta look that up too?
It's so funny. I won't, it's not something that we should discuss here.
So it's bad.
Probably, but it's funny. Like, it will make you laugh.
So who's Bernard Bone Crusher Pollard? Do you know who that name is?
No, a little before my time.
That's the guy who busted up Brady's knee, so he missed that whole season.
Oh, the ACL in 09?
Yeah. So he went to Purdue, Bernard Bone Crusher Pollard, and I remember him. That was the nickname he got because he was a defensive lineman. He just hurt people.
Okay.
It's a pretty good nickname, Bone
Yeah.
Crusher.
Bonesaw.
Oh, Spider-Man. That was tough. That was a tough pull.
OG Spider-Man. That's
Okay.
a good one.
Why don't
I
you
get to
talk for a minute? I have a couple of
I
things.
like Brady too, you know.
You can talk for a bit.
So you talked about like we can do the top 10 Brady moments, but you guys know what they are, so
Yeah.
it doesn't really make sense.
No, we
to-
just picked a couple.
Well, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
How can we play the game? How many years he has left if he kept playing? So I was shocked by the news. I found out actually at work. It's gonna be. I don't have a lot of like, where were you when this happened? I don't have a lot of that. I do have it for this. Where were you when you found out Brady retired? That's a thing. I was at work, and that was cool. I put a picture of Brady on my shirt and worked the rest of my shift. Maybe I'll put that on the Instagram.
How many people asked you about that?
Only one. I think everyone thought I was like crazy or something. No one commented like, why did you picture some dude on your shirt? But that's okay.
They thought Staples just gets a little bit of extra funding for Isaac's pay, if you know what I mean. Took a bus that wasn't full length to get to school.
How many years does Brady have left? Minimum 3 years. I am, and
Two solid years.
I'll tell you why.
2 solid years and one. I should have retired year.
So I can show you a bunch of stupid numbers that it's like, wow, Brady's 44 and in his prime. I'm not gonna do that because like it's dumb. But you can make the argument. I think he had his best year. That aside, let's assume
He had his best year, actually, statistically, when he was
Had
actually
Randy
thrown
Moss?
to Randy Moss.
Okay.
Because that's the only time he's had, like, a sweet wide receiver.
he's never had a Devontae Adams.
No.
Sorry. Or an Alan Lazard. So 3 years, and I'll say that's minimum 3 years. Maximum, I'm not 7. I'm not putting a maximum because like he has not shown signs of slowing down.
In 7 years, he'd be my age.
Okay, let's go. Get some pads on, dude.
Yeah, okay.
So I'll tell you why minimum 3 years. Let's assume he takes a step down next year, and I don't think that's a fair assumption.
So then he isn't the top 2 or 3 quarterback. He only becomes top 5 or 6.
Yep, let's assume that, and then let's assume it's exponentially.
And then he becomes top 10, and then he becomes top 15.
And then he retires when he's the 16th best guy in the league.
Yep. You could see that.
And that's the minimum. But then there's the case where it's, maybe Godwin stays healthy next year and he re-ups and then he has an even better year than this year. And then
Maybe they get a good running back.
maybe they get a real running back. Like you can make the argument that he will play a lot more years. He beat Father Time, right? That's sick.
He kicked. Father Time loses to no one
L.
except for Tom Brady.
Big
Yeah,
L.
big L for Father Time. Yep.
And like the people that are like
It was like
120.
Tom Watson when he was 59 when he almost won the British Open. It's like that.
For golf?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who?
No one
else?
asked.
Yeah, nobody asked.
So, look, Brady, he had a lot of football left. I understand why he retired, like family, business. I totally get that. But I wanted a couple more years of Brady. And
Can I talk about Giselle now, or do you want me to wait?
yeah, you can go.
Okay, so you need to look at pictures of Tom Brady when he was like in grade school and in high school and college and his first couple years of pro. Like he was like a sloth.
Goofy look. Now
Goofy looking.
Yeah.
Now he somehow like was able to re-energize his hair, but he married one of the hottest women on the freaking planet.
Who makes more money than him?
Who makes more money than
So
him?
Tom is the
Like-
stay-at-home dad.
Yeah, like he's a stay-at-home dad.
Which
like,
is so cool.
let's
awesome.
just think about the Giselle boxes. Super hot, exotic, millionaire.
I think she's probably a billionaire, is she not?
Yeah, she's probably a billionaire. As a sports fan, is actually like
Is
funny.
sports-
I've seen some of the stuff that she's tweeted, and she's funny. So, like, shout out Tom Brady. You've had some significant accomplishments in your
Tom's
career.
just wins.
Giselle's got to be one of them.
Well, does that count as a Super Bowl? Or is that an MVP? Like when you look at Brady's stats and you want to add the Giselle factor.
No, he gets like a great big necklace thing and, and a medallion.
Okay, all right. I'm like at graduation, you get the stupid stuff. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
That's a
but
good one.
a really like the one where you have to have a
gold.
95 or above in every class.
It's
One of
gold.
those.
It's a gold
It's gold.
slash.
No,
he
it's
gets.
gold, big, thick.
So
Yeah,
when he
yeah.
goes to his Hall of Fame ceremony, does he get to wear that?
Yeah, for sure he does.
Okay. All right, cool.
No, nobody else gets
Speaking
to.
of Hall of Fame ceremony, Big Ben, sorry, bro. That sucks, man. No one's going to be talking about him. I'm kind of glad.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
So when Brady retires, like, is he signing a 1 day to do a little sign off with New England? Because I want that.
Nope.
I want that.
Listen, He was asked to leave New England.
But I don't know.
I know he's
Belichick's-
buddies with Kraft and Belichick, but
I don't know.
I don't think he does it.
He was never buddies with Belichick. I don't really think he's buddies with Kraft.
You need to read the Bill Simmons article about every Tuesday every Tuesday after a game, Brady would go in and meet with Belichick, and they would talk about the next opponent and game plan and everything. And Brady talked about how much he learned from Belichick early in his career, especially.
But they were never buddies. They
no,
worked
I don't
together.
think they were buddies, but it was a mutual respect deal.
Yes, they worked together and they had the same goal of just winning and excellence, but they were not buddies. I don't think, like, there's some coach player that are buddies. I would not consider Brady Belichick buddies at any stretch.
Okay, I agree.
He's not coaching. He's not doing media. He's probably not going to be GM. There's a chance he's an owner in a few years. I don't think that will happen. I think he's just going to stick with family and TB12, but that's a possibility. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Brady's the man. I'm going to miss him. I didn't want Rodgers to be in the league without Brady. Like, I have Brady to counter Rodgers, so I can, when I watch Rodgers and just like get angry, I can watch Brady and be happy. I don't have that anymore, but there's like 6 young QBs that I really like, so we'll be okay.
There's so many good young dudes that it's going to be okay.
Yeah, pause.
Okay, you need to just comment what happens to Brady if he doesn't get drafted by New England.
Oh, yeah.
And then what happens to Belichick. I've got my take, but why don't you go first?
I have to go first because I'll cheat you?
Yeah, for sure.
Cheat you. What's going to happen with Brady? Brady, I don't get a team or anything. It's just like, Brady. Let's hope he doesn't go to like Cleveland or Detroit or Cincy or any team like that. Brady wins at least a couple Super Bowls. He doesn't have a Joe Montana career, but he has maybe a John Elway career. Numbers are probably pretty similar. Then you can make the argument if he goes to a different team, they might actually get him a Randy Moss for a couple years or a Terrell Owens or a guy like that. Do you know what I mean? Whereas the Patriots never prioritized that. Belichick, similar, probably wins a couple Super Bowls, but is not the best coach of all time. I think Brady can still be the best QB of all time without Belichick. I don't think Belichick's best coach without Brady, if that makes sense.
Yep, it makes perfect sense. So I'll agree with you on the Belichick. I think he becomes a good coach. He probably wins a couple of Super Bowls.
Coach of the year a couple times.
He can game plan and strategize. So Brady, I think he becomes an above average, maybe makes a couple Pro Bowls. Here's the thing. I think what happened is Brady, for the first 10 years of his career, he was good, but not spectacular. If he goes to one of these teams and he's at Chase Daniels, kind of backup for a couple years, listen, 6th-round draft picks, they very rarely get a chance to start for the first couple of years.
Okay, the fact
even
that
if they're lighting it up in practice.
Okay, the fact that you said Chase Daniel, like that just ends your case. That's for
the first couple of years of Brady's career, he's considered like a Chase Daniel. Wow. Then he gets a chance. Then he moves up. Then he wins a couple Super Bowls. Then he makes a couple Pro Bowls. So John Elway, I don't think he gets to a John Elway status. He probably gets to, Eli Manning kind of status, borderline Hall of Fame.
Wow.
I think what happens is because he got so good, he pushed himself to achieve that amazingly high level and got better. Arguably better when he was 40 than he was 30.
100%.
Better when he's 43 than he's 33. But if he's playing on teams that are just average, he's getting the crap kicked out of him. He gets more injuries. They don't game plan as well.
Like, what if
I know. That's why I think he's borderline Hall of Fame without that fit with New England.
I think he made the fit in New England work. I think it was, right? Like, if you get him some weapons on some other teams, that's my thing.
Yep.
My thing is they would have said, this guy's going to walk if we don't get him a number one receiver.
And here's the good thing. We never have to worry about it because we were able to watch, for sure, the best football player in history.
Yeah, I'm glad I got some.
And then we'll have to debate best team athlete in history.
Bill Russell,
right?
Gretzky,
Michael Jordan,
Mike
Gretzky. I think I'd probably put Gretzky ahead still, but we got to look and see.
Yeah, if I can include coaching, I'll put Bill Russell and playing in Boston in the racist time period in American history.
There's a lot of factors that
I would make that case.
Relevant,
Brady hasn't had to deal with that a ton.
Okay, so shout out with lots of shout outs tonight. Vince, Lesio, Urban Paul.
Mainly all,
Coach
I think
Matt.
all by you. But
Well, shoutouts are important. They are. Okay, listen. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night. We're going to watch some sports.
yeah.
And next week, lots of prop bets. And who knows what else is going to happen next week.
Okay, see you, everybody.
See ya.